I arrived with a bottle of wine I didn't particularly like, because it was the kind my father liked, and old habits die the slowest. The house smelled like pine cleaner and overcooked ham. My brother had already taken the good chair, his coat draped over it like a claim. He waved at me with the hand that still had a price tag dangling from a watch he couldn't afford. It was loud in the way families get loud when they don't want to hear themselves think. I stayed near the wall, nursing a drink, letting the rhythm of familiar jokes pass over me. I had learned to do that early, be present without being available. He waited until dessert. He always did. Sugar softened people. "I'm overwhelmed," he announced, standing with a plate balanced on one hand. The room leaned toward him. "Work's killing me. I need a reset." Hawaii. Simple as that. Lauder came first. Someone clapped. My aunt said, "Don't we all?" He didn't look at them. He looked at me. "You'll cover it," he said, casual, like he was asking me to pass the salt. There it was, not a request. A conclusion. I felt the old reflex rise urge to calculate flights, to think about points, to smooth. Years of being the reliable one had trained my body before my mind caught up. I watched the reflex crest and pass. It surprised me how quickly it passed. My father smirked from his seat at the head of the table. He had perfected that smirk, half amusement, half warning. "If you say no," he said, not raising his voice, "don't come back." The room went quiet in that artificial way, like when someone drops a glass and everyone pretends not to stare. I noticed the clock over the sink ticking too loud. I noticed how my brother's smile held, brittle, waiting. I smiled back. It wasn't defiant. It was calm, almost kind. "Then goodbye," I said. "And good luck with your mess." It took a second to land. My brother laughed again, sharper this time, like he was covering for something. My father's smirk flattened. Someone turned the music up too loud, too fast. I put my coat on before anyone could find the right sentence. My father started to say my name, the way he used to when I was a kid and had stepped out of line in public. I didn't stop. Outside, the cold felt earned. I sat in my car and waited for the shaking to stop. It did. That was new. The days after were quieter than I expected. No angry texts. No late-night calls. Silence, thick but not hostile. I realized how much noise I had been absorbing without noticing. On the fifth day, my phone rang. The number was unfamiliar, local. "Is this?" The woman paused, checking something. "Is this the guarantor on the Miller account?" "I'm not," I said. My stomach tightened anyway. "I'm calling from North Shore Credit," she said. Professional, careful. "Your name and social were listed on a recent application connected to your brother." I sat down. I didn't authorize anything. There was a click, a shuffle of papers. Wu suspected as much. "The signatures don't match. We've frozen the application and flagged the account. There may be follow-up." Follow-up came quickly. An email from an estate attorney my father had used years ago, asking for clarification about a trust amendment that referenced family support obligations. Language that sounded generous until you read it closely. Language that assumed I would continue being the quiet fix. I forwarded everything to my own attorney. It was the first time I'd ever had to do that. The process was boring, that procedural, utterly lacking in drama, and in that dullness something shifted. A week later, a certified letter arrived at my father's house. I wasn't there, but I heard about it. The bank had declined the loan. The trust amendment was invalid without my consent. There would be no implied guarantees. No borrowed names. Authority didn't shout. It didn't punish theatrically. It simply said no in writing, with logos and dates. My brother called that night. His voice was different, quieter, that unsteady. He didn't apologize. He explained, stress. Bad timing. He had assumed. "I can't help," I said. I kept my tone even. "And you can't use my name." There was a long pause. "Dad says you're tearing the family apart." "I'm stepping out of it," I said. "There's a difference." He hung up without saying goodbye. Christmas came and went. I didn't go back. I sent a card. Neutral. No subtext. Months later, I ran into my father at a grocery store. He looked smaller, or maybe I was standing straighter. We talked about weather, about nothing. He didn't bring up Hawaii. He didn't threaten exile. The leverage was gone, and without it, he seemed unsure what language to use. I left with my groceries and a strange, steady feeling, not victory, not relief. Something quieter, like a door closed gently, finally, and stayed that way.